It's NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams for what should be a terrific matchup here tonight. We're at Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Tonight, it'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Miami Heat. Miami controls the tip. Jay, 44 wins for the Heat last year. For the most part, that core is in place once again.
And when I think about the core, Ed, I think about upper management. I think about Pat Riley. I think about Eric Spoelstra. I think about Mickey Arison, the consummate professionals associated with this basketball team. The year before, they did not make the playoffs. So a substantial improvement for a young basketball team.
To Teague. Covington. Teague. Can't connect. Defense did its job that time.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning an ankle on that landing.
Dragic picked up by Teague. To Butler. Well defended, shot no good. If it was anyone else, they'd be back on the bench for taking that shot.
Ed, the game is so different. In today's NBA, defenders are longer, quicker, and more athletic than we've ever seen before. So offensively, as a shooter, you either have to be able to create more space off the dribble for your shot or have a much faster release. Ideally, you have both in your arsenal.
Waiters to Dragic. To Waiters. Has a chance. Knocks it down from mid-range.
The savvy players, they create contact. They throw their arms in you. They even throw their bodies into you. And as soon as you become hesitant defensively, they got you right where they want you.
Can't connect from inside. Dragic into the front court. Looking to make something happen. Butler to Dragic. Down low for Leonard. Taken by the Wolves.
It's early. Get a good quality shot here.
Wiggins to Teague. Trying to cash in. Jeff Teague. Missed his first. That one goes. Dragic with the basketball. Down 2. To Waiters. Has a look. And scores. Nice move, Jay.
Here's a tip for your defense. You can't give him that much space. You have to push up into his personal space and make him play the majority of the possessions with his back to the basket. Because if you allow him to open up, there's no stopping.
To Teague. Here comes the screen. Teague guarded by Myers-Leonard. How you practice leads to that. Nice pump fake.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Dragic with it. Exactly a minute to go here in the opening quarter. Waiters matched up with the former Wildcat. Good look that time, but off the mark. Teague with the basketball. Leads a bucket. And he's going to the free throw line.
Trust me, you want to avoid early foul trouble. Take that one as a warning.
Jeff Teague at the line for 2 shots. A career 84% free throw shooter. Knocks down the first. Able to convert on both free throws. Dragic into the front court. They can go 2 for 1 if they hurry. Waiters to Dragic. Gets it in the right corner. Butler to Waiters. 5 to shoot for Miami. rebound, Waiters. 3 for 4. Good start.
That was a tough shot. The guy was in your pocket. He even contested the shot. Everything was going according to plan until then.
Deep three at the buzzer. And a three-pointer at the buzzer for good measure. What a finish to the opening period. A great stretch here to start the game. We played one at Target Center with the Timberwolves on top. Jay and I back with more after this. You're watching the NBA on EA Sports. Second quarter set to start. Neither team set the tone to start this one. Jay, do you expect that to change?
I know you're wondering why I'm clapping. Both teams came out in the first quarter, and they executed. When do you ever see that, Ed? You have to continue to bring those competitive juices into the second quarter, and we're going to have one heck of a ball game.
Dragic with the basketball. Down 5. Waiters. Almost unlucky bounce.
And you hate to say this, but this is the reality of the matter. Sometimes it takes guys.
Got a piece of it.
Jumping out the gym right now, Ed.
Great anticipation. Oh, he had him there for a second. That's toughness right there. Physical inside, gets it to go.
Well, he finished strong because he was able to initiate the contact. When you initiate the contact first, you bounce off the defender, which balances you at the rim.
Butler to Dragic. Jay, sometimes it's not just the heat that does opponents in Miami.
I've been a victim to this multiple times when we have played the Heat, and I think other franchises from cold cities have been the same. There's a reason why the Miami Heat have such an advantage down here on South Beach. You catch them on an off night, it's rare that opposing teams are ready to play.
To Covington. Five to shoot for Minnesota. T. Adebayo the rebound. Butler into the front court. 5-point game. Converts in the paint. Nice finish at the rim. We talk so much about who are the MVP candidates, but there are other guys who are so valuable to their teams, and Jimmy Butler at the forefront of that list.
I have a phrase that I use when I describe players like Jimmy Butler. It's called most valuable mentality. There are certain players that approach the game with a certain mindset every single day that they will do anything possible to win the ball game. He plays with his heart and soul every single possession and every night, and he will leave it on the court if that means he can win the ball game.
To Teague. To Covington. Count it. No and one. There was some contact there.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Butler to bring it up. He'll run the offense. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Man, that may not have been a gimme, but that layup at the rim definitely chips away at the pride of the defense.
To Covington. T. To Towns, down low. Count the basket, and it could have been more. No whistle.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Butler. To Dragic. To Butler. Shot clock for the Heat, down to 3. Butler. And the rebound taken in by Towns. To T. Covington. And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. Free throws coming up.
Aggressive play there, but you can't fault the defender for being up in the shooter. You need to contest shots, each and every one of them.
Andrew Wiggins, couple of free throws on the way. A career 74% free throw shooter. And he connects on the first free throw. He makes them both. He'd have the basketball. Butler to Waiters. Here comes the screen. Waiters guarded by Towns. To Dragic. Waiters. Shot clock. It's coming down to 4. Now down to 3. Deep 3 at the buzzer. That misses with a second to go. That's it for the first half. It's the Timberwolves in front.
Thanks, fellas. Jalen here with your halftime report. The Timberwolves certainly didn't have a problem putting up points in the opening half. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. These are the guys getting buckets for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Heat have got themselves in a bad situation that seems likely to only get worse. At this point, it's all about pride and mental toughness. A comeback is not impossible, but it's also not likely. These are the guys getting buckets for the Miami Heat.
Game track. Points in the paint.
The Miami Heat have been too soft once the opposition has gotten the ball into the paint. Even worse, they refuse to tighten up and make a difference about it.
Player of the half.
The film speaks for itself. He's definitely the player of the half. Now he just got to give an encore to get his team to win.
Who was cold?
Butler didn't exactly light it up in the first half. Newsflash, you're not on fire. Pass the ball. Here are the top plays from the opening half.
Number 2. Number 1.
All right, back to the second half. I'll see you after the game.
The Timberwolves have the basketball. T. To Covington. Doesn't have the touch. No good.
The most important thing a shooter can do is continue to shoot. The defense is always going to give great effort, but it's more of your psyche that goes into the next shot that will limit you on whether you make the shot or not.
It's good. Count the basket and the foul.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Waiters at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 70% free throw shooter. Free throw is good to finish off the three-point play. That slices the lead down to 4. Minnesota at the controls. T sizing up Leonard to Wiggins. Surveys the floor. Wiggins down low. Towns to Wiggins. Down to 5 on the 24. Wiggins. This guy's a handful. Andrew Wiggins, well defended, still able to score.
Man, you making people dance out there? I see you with the footwork.
Dragic with it. The margin standing now at 7. To Butler. Jimmy Butler. Tough shooting. Only 2 for 6 after that make.
Underutilized, underutilized, underutilized. Am I getting my point across? Let's see more of that.
To Wiggins. They get it down for Towns. The pass set it all up.
Old school equals high percentage.
It's the Heat with the possession. Dragic to Waiters. Nothing going here on that drive. Waiters to Butler. Fires the 3. You on top. Jimmy Butler. Contested 3. He buries it.
For average shooters, that's not a great shot. But for a great shooter, that's a good look.
Karl Anthony Towns. He's 3 for 7. Dragic into the front court. The deficit is 6. Waiters to Dragic. Screen coming. Dragic defended by Towns. To Waiters. Down to 5. Down to 4 to shoot. Dragic can't go down. Smothering defense.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
Miami with the basketball. Butler guarded by Towns. Takes stock of the floor. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number 1, create contact, and number 2, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
Goran Dragic trying to cash in on the 3-point play. For his career, 76% from the line. Free throw is good to cap off the 3-point play. And the lead is down to 3. Teague with it up top. Counting down toward a minute to play in this third quarter. Screen coming. Teague. To Towns. Down low. Rebound comes to Miami. Dragic with the basketball. His guys down 3. To Butler. 5 to shoot for Miami. Butler. And the rebound gathered in by Towns. Teague with the basketball. Up by 3. To Wiggins. Karl Anthony Towns. Now 4 for 9.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. You need to do more of that. You need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
Here comes the screen. Deep 3 at the buzzer. The quarter comes to an end. The Timberwolves have the lead. So the Heat will have it to start this 4th and final quarter. We've got a 1-possession game going on. This has the look of a race that's going down to the wire.
And it looked that way from the very beginning, but this is where the coaches and the best players on the floor really earn their money down the stretch. It's game time.
Goran Dragic looking good. 4 for 5.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in a defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
Here comes the screen. To Towns. Has a chance. The shot, no good by Towns. Dragic with it. All even here in the fourth. To Butler. Here comes the screen. Butler, defended by Jeff Teague. To Waiters. Off the mark. He's made those before, but that was well defended. Another shot won't go either. To Teague. Oh, the Heat right there to take it away.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Oh, he had it. To Teague. Covington. Not that time.
We call some of these players practice players. You know, the guys that make 5 out of 10 shots in practice, but then all of a sudden they're not gamers because then they're making 1 of 10. That's exactly what you want him to do. You want him to take those kind of shots.
To Dragic. Waiters. They'll get it down to Leonard. Able to convert inside.
You've heard it before. Slow and steady wins the race. This approach might be working out after all.
Teague with it up top. All tied up. Just underway in this fourth quarter. To Towns. Short jumper won't fall. Dragic into the front court. Looking to make something happen. From the painted area, won't go down.
Well, you can't finish with your right hand on the left side of the rim. You actually have to use your opposite hand. Steve Nash is one of the best at this. Different shots at different angles, high off the glass, expecting that there are trees down below with long wingspans that can block your shot.
Dragic to Butler. The screen sets him up for 2.
Look at that, calm under pressure. You see a lot of guys rush those. Nice extra move there.
Towns. Myers Leonard with the block. Wiggins, tough matchup against Butler. To Towns. And now he's going to shoot a few more as he's fouled going up for it.
Great job, Ed, by the shooter to create contact after the jump. That's how you get to the free throw line.
First free throw is good.
Keep working him out, boy. He can't guard you.
2 for 2 on that trip. Miami's got it. Dragic to Butler. Dragic to Waiters. Down to 5 on the 24. Dragic. Shot off the mark. Good defense. Towns against Leonard. Wide open look won't go. And Jimmy Butler just not going down. We get a whistle and a foul with 1 second to go. It's not in the bag yet, but it would take a real meltdown for this to slip away.
Too close to call right now. We're in clock management mode. That was a good play.
First one, count it. And gets both to drop at the line. Long heave from three-quarters court. It's a victory for the Timberwolves as they win this one by 4. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Jalen Rose here, and I've got your EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Timberwolves almost let this one get away from them, but they managed to get the victory. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Heat finished on the losing end of a close score. Sure, it's great they shot so well from 3, but none of that really matters when your team has one more loss to show for it. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Miami Heat.
Game track. Field goals.
Neither of these teams were able to make much of an impact on defense. As you can see here, they were each pretty successful with some efficient scoring.
Player of the game.
Karl Anthony Towns put up the kind of points that made him an easy choice for this award. He couldn't be stopped, and when he realized he was in his zone, he just took it to another level.
Who was cold?
This isn't the segment you want to be in, of course, but even the best players find their way into this part of the show. These are the top 3 plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
And that does it for our post-game wrap-up. On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose. Thanks for joining us.